Hey everybody, KC here. So I'm a huge Francis Ford Coppola fan. Obviously, Godfather 1, Godfather 2, classics of the American cinema. Apocalypse Now. Oh, I can remember the first time I saw Apocalypse Now at the Ziegfeld Theater in New York City, and as the helicopters went across and bombs were going off and the napalm was going off, you could hear the sound of it. Oh, it was just unbelievable. And for my money, the best Coppola film, easily, The Conversation with Gene Hackman. Just an amazing, amazing movie. I've also always sort of been just a fan of him, right? Really interesting guy. I've always liked his wines. I've been to his wineries. I've eaten at his cafe in San Francisco. I once was sitting there at his cafe, and I was having a meal, and he came up and stood right next to me, brought up a bottle of wine, and went upstairs to his offices. It was just totally cool. Anyway, I say all this because as a fan of his wines, I've always felt they sort of represented something. There was something about comfort. I'm not sure exactly what the Italian word is for hospitality. Ospitalità, is there something like that? I'm probably saying that entirely wrong. I'll get email. But there's something just wonderful. There's a warmth to the way he's always presented his wines for me, which is why I was sort of surprised the other day when Coppola and the company that owns a lot of his wines now decided to release a pair of commercials that just talked about them. Really the first national TV commercials the company has done. Take a look.
It's scary to watch someone you love go into the center of himself and confront his fears.
Action.
At one point, he fainted. He told me that he could see himself going down a dark tunnel. You have to fail a little, die a little, go insane a little to come out the other side.
Francis Coppola, Diamond Collection Wines.
I associate my motion picture career more with being unhappy and being scared or being in trouble, and not at all with anything pleasant.
Action.
The film is struggle, I think, always on the brink of failure.
Everything rides on the success of this film?
Yes. You have to really be courageous about your instincts and your ideas.
Those struggles usually bring about the best results.
Francis Coppola, Diamond Collection Wines.
So I get that Francis Ford Coppola has had a complicated and challenging movie-making career. And I get that making wine can be tough as well. I'm just not sure this is necessarily the message that I'd want to send. I would have preferred commercials with Coppola sitting around with, Spielberg and Scorsese, talking about the creative process and then kind of relating the movie-making creative process to the creative process of making wine. But there's a larger business issue, I think, which is in some ways they're trying to get you to relate to Coppola's problems. And I think customers, by and large, don't care about manufacturers' problems. They don't necessarily care about producers' problems. They care about the result, and they care about companies that solve their problems. And I just think that it takes the wrong approach in terms of talking to customers. Again, a little uplift, a little aspiration, I think would have been a lot more effective than the approach that they took with in this particular case. I don't blame them. Listen, they got a lot of B-roll footage. They got a lot of great stuff they can use. All that Apocalypse Now stuff is really fabulous to look at. I'm just not sure it sells wine. Again, customers don't care about your problems. They just care about how you're going to solve their problems. How are you going to make their lives better? Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.